The year is 1450. The North Sea churns, a restless mirror reflecting the ambitions of the Viking clans. For centuries, they've raided, traded, and conquered. But whispers now speak of a power unlike any they've encountered. A power rising from the south, a shadow stretching across the known world. Their legendary ferocity will be tested. Bjorn Ironside, leader of the Northmen, surveys his warriors. Loyalty gleams in their eyes, hardened by a life of battle. But a new threat demands their attention. A threat that promises not plunder, but annihilation. He speaks of an empire, vast and relentless. The Ottoman Empire, a force of unparalleled organization and military might, is carving a path of conquest. Their disciplined armies, advanced weaponry, and unwavering faith present a formidable challenge. The Vikings, accustomed to fragmented kingdoms and tribal warfare, find themselves facing an entirely different beast. A scout named Astrid, known for her keen eyes and stealth, witnesses the Ottoman advance. Their ranks are endless, their discipline absolute. She reports back to Bjorn, the gravity of the situation sinking in. This is not a fleeting raid, this is an invasion. The clang of the hammer echoes through the longhouse. The blacksmith, a master of his craft, works tirelessly, forging weapons to meet the coming storm. But even the finest steel may prove insufficient against the Ottoman war machine. The elders debate their options. Should they unite against this common enemy? Or will centuries of rivalry prevent them from forging a unified front? The fate of the North hangs in the balance. Doubt and fear begin to creep into their resolute hearts. The journey south is perilous. The Vikings face not only the Ottoman armies but also the wrath of the North Sea. Storms test their seafaring skills, and dwindling supplies threaten their resolve. The journey is a trial of endurance. The Ottomans are not barbarians to be easily subdued. They wield gunpowder, a terrifying new weapon that promises to reshape the battlefield. Their cannons roar, capable of shattering Viking defenses. The Vikings are facing a technological leap. Bjorn leads a scouting mission, attempting to assess the Ottoman defenses. He observes their fortifications, their patrols, and their unwavering vigilance. He realizes the scale of the challenge is far greater than he imagined. A clash is inevitable. The Vikings and Ottomans meet on the battlefield, a brutal collision of cultures and armies. The Vikings fight with their characteristic ferocity, but the Ottoman discipline proves a deadly counter. The first battles are bloody and devastating. The ground trembles under the weight of clashing steel and desperate cries. Viking axes meet Ottoman scimitars in a whirlwind of violence. The initial Viking charge, fueled by adrenaline and fury, begins to falter against the disciplined ranks of the Ottoman army. Their shields form an impenetrable wall, deflecting blow after blow. Bjorn watches from the periphery, his face grim. The air is thick with the smell of blood and gunpowder. He sees men falling on both sides, a grim testament to the brutal reality of this new warfare. A young Viking warrior, barely a man, is cut down before Bjorn can even react. The tide of the battle is turning. Bjorn's gaze sweeps across the chaotic battlefield, searching for a weakness, a chink in the Ottoman armor. He notices a gap in their lines, a momentary lapse in their defense caused by a recent cannon volley. This is his chance, a desperate gamble to break through the Ottoman front. He signals to a small group of his elite warriors, those he trusts most. They understand the plan, a swift, focused assault on the exposed flank. It's a risky maneuver, but their only hope of turning the tide of the battle. The weight of his people's survival rests on his shoulders. He knows that failure means certain doom. The chosen warriors surge forward, a wave of fury crashing against the Ottoman flank. Their axes and swords find purchase in the enemy ranks, creating a momentary breach in the line. The Vikings fight with a desperate ferocity, fueled by the need to survive. They are outnumbered, but their courage burns bright. One Viking, Ragnar, a veteran of many battles, cleaves through several Ottoman soldiers, creating a path for his comrades. The battle is a brutal dance of death, a desperate struggle for survival. The ground is slick with blood, and the air is filled with the screams of the wounded. The Ottoman commander, a stern and imposing figure, watches the Viking assault with a detached expression. He recognizes the ferocity of their attack, but remains unfazed. He calmly raises his hand, signaling his troops to regroup and reinforce the threatened flank. His movements are precise and efficient, a testament to his years of military experience. He has anticipated this maneuver and is prepared to counter it. He understands that a single breach in his lines could spell disaster. He will not allow the Vikings to gain the upper hand. A deafening roar echoes across the battlefield as an Ottoman cannon unleashes its deadly payload. The iron ball streaks through the air, a terrifying projectile of destruction. Vikings scramble for cover, desperately trying to avoid the impact. The cannonade continues relentlessly, raining down death and devastation upon the Viking ranks. The ground shakes with each explosion. The air is thick with smoke and debris. The Vikings are struggling to maintain their formation under the constant barrage. Their morale is beginning to waver. A Viking warrior's shield buckles under the force of the cannonball, leaving him vulnerable. He cries out in pain as shrapnel tears through his armor. He stumbles backward, momentarily disoriented. An Ottoman soldier seizes the opportunity and plunges a dagger into his side. The warrior collapses to the ground, his lifeblood staining the earth. The scene is a stark reminder of the brutal reality of this new warfare. The Vikings are suffering heavy casualties, and their numbers are dwindling. Bjorn, covered in grime and blood, rallies his remaining warriors. His voice, hoarse but resolute, cuts through the din of battle. He urges them to press the attack, to not yield to despair. For our homes. For our families, he shouts. His words ignite a spark of defiance in their hearts. They surge forward once more, fueled by a renewed sense of purpose. They are determined to break through the Ottoman lines, even if it costs them their lives. The Vikings, driven by Bjorn's inspiring words, continue their relentless assault. They fight their way through the remaining Ottoman soldiers, pushing towards the heart of the enemy camp. They reach the Ottoman command tent, a symbol of the Ottomans' power and authority. They surround the tent, preparing to breach its defenses. The air is thick with anticipation. The final battle for the day is about to begin. Bjorn confronts the Ottoman commander outside the tent. They stand face to face, two leaders locked in a deadly stare. The commander's face is impassive, betraying no emotion. Bjorn draws his sword, the steel glinting in the fading light. He challenges the commander to a duel, a final showdown to determine the fate of the battle. The tension is palpable. The fate of both armies hangs in the balance. The clash of steel echoes across the battlefield as Bjorn and the Ottoman commander engage in a fierce sword fight. Their blades meet in a blinding flash of light. They are evenly matched, each a master of their craft. The fight is a whirlwind of motion and violence. Both men are skilled warriors, but Bjorn's ferocity and determination give him the edge. The battle is a test of strength, skill, and will. Steel screams against steel, a dance of death under the darkening sky. Bjorn's strength is matched by the commander's cunning, each parry a calculated move. The crowd of warriors watches, breathless, as the duel intensifies. A grunt escapes Bjorn as a blow narrowly misses, the weight of the commander's blade a chilling reminder of the stakes. The fate of the battle hangs in the balance, resting on the edge of their swords. The clash continues, relentless and unforgiving. The battle rages on around them, a chaotic symphony of clashing metal and desperate cries. Vikings press their advantage, fueled by Bjorn's courage, but the Ottomans fight with the ferocity of cornered wolves. Soldiers fall on both sides, adding to the growing pile of casualties. The ground is slick with blood, a testament to the brutal intensity of the conflict. The air is thick with the smell of iron and the cries of the wounded. Bjorn's breath comes in ragged gasps, muscles straining with each movement. He feels the commander's power, a dark energy that threatens to overwhelm him. Doubt flickers momentarily, but he pushes it aside, drawing strength from his comrades and the memory of his people. His grip tightens on his sword, his resolve hardening with each passing second. He will not falter. A swift feint, a deceptive shift in weight, and the commander's blade flashes towards Bjorn's chest. Bjorn reacts instantly, deflecting the blow with a desperate parry. The force of the impact sends tremors up his arm. He struggles to maintain his balance, the commander's relentless assault testing his endurance. The fight is a test of wills, a battle of attrition. With a surge of adrenaline, Bjorn unleashes a powerful overhead strike, forcing the commander to backpedal. The force of the blow reverberates through the battlefield. The commander stumbles, momentarily losing his footing. Bjorn presses his advantage, relentlessly pursuing his attack. The crowd roars its approval, sensing a shift in the tide of the battle. The commander, recovering quickly, executes a daring grappling maneuver, attempting to disarm Bjorn. His movements are fluid and precise, honed by years of training. Bjorn struggles to maintain his grip, his sword slipping in his grasp. The momentum shifts, the advantage momentarily turning in the commander's favor. A desperate struggle ensues. With a burst of strength, Bjorn manages to regain his grip, twisting and countering the commander's hold. He uses the commander's own momentum against him, executing a swift maneuver that throws the Ottoman off balance. The commander loses his footing, momentarily vulnerable. Bjorn seizes the opportunity. A final, decisive strike. Bjorn's blade finds its mark, disarming the commander. The Ottoman's sword clatters to the ground. The crowd erupts in a deafening roar. The commander stares at his empty hand, defeated. The fight is over. Bjorn stands over the fallen commander, his sword pointed at his throat. The weight of the moment hangs heavy in the air. The commander looks up at Bjorn, his eyes filled with a mixture of defiance and resignation. The fate of the Ottoman forces rests in Bjorn's hands. Bjorn slowly lowers his sword, a gesture of mercy. He has won the duel, but he knows the battle is far from over. He turns to face his warriors, their faces illuminated by the flickering torchlight. The victory has been hard fought, but the path to true victory is still ahead. The victory felt hollow. Bjorn scanned the chaotic scene, the Ottoman army crumbling under the weight of their defeat. But a new threat emerged, a calculated maneuver by a hidden force. A small, elite group, their armor dark and menacing, circled around, seeking an opportunity to strike at his exposed flank. The city's cries of celebration faded into a background hum as Bjorn's focus narrowed. This wasn't over. A grim resolve settled on Bjorn's face. He barked orders to his lieutenant, a seasoned warrior named Kalin. Form a defensive line. We must protect the city gates. Kalin, ever loyal and unflappable, immediately sprang into action, his movements precise and efficient. The weight of responsibility pressed down on Bjorn, but he refused to falter. He would not let this hard-won victory be in vain. Kalin's voice cut through the din, a beacon of strength amidst the chaos. Hold the line. For the city. For our freedom. His words ignited a renewed fire in the hearts of the weary soldiers. They straightened their backs, tightened their grip on their weapons, and prepared to face the impending attack. The defense of the city now rested on their shoulders. The dark figures surged forward, their attack swift and brutal. Steel met steel in a cacophony of noise. Bjorn and his warriors met their charge head-on, a desperate struggle for control of the city's defenses. The air filled with the clang of swords, the shouts of men, and the cries of the wounded. Bjorn locked eyes with the leader of the flanking force, a formidable warrior clad in black. Their blades clashed, sparks flying as they danced a deadly ballet. The leader was strong, skilled, and relentless. The battle was a test of strength, endurance, and strategic thinking. The leader's face was a mask of cold calculation. A cruel smirk played on his lips as he parried Bjorn's blows. His eyes, sharp and intelligent, assessed Bjorn's every move, searching for a weakness. This was more than just a fight, it was a game of wits, a battle of wills. Bjorn narrowly dodged a vicious strike, the blade whistling past his ear. He countered with a swift maneuver, forcing the leader back. The fight was intense, a whirlwind of steel and fury. Bjorn knew he couldn't afford to make a mistake. One wrong move could cost them everything. Kalin and his men stood firm, a bulwark against the relentless assault. They held the line, buying Bjorn precious time. Their courage and determination inspired the other soldiers to fight with renewed vigor. The city's fate hung in the balance, dependent on their unwavering resolve. Seeing an opening, Bjorn unleashed a powerful attack. His blade found its mark, piercing the leader's armor. The leader staggered back, a look of disbelief on his face. The flanking group faltered, their attack momentum broken. Bjorn had gained the upper hand. The remaining members of the flanking group, seeing their leader fall, broke ranks and retreated into the shadows. Bjorn stood panting, his body aching, but victorious. The immediate threat had been neutralized. The city was safe, for now. The battle had been won, but the war continued. The cheers of the city swelled, a wave of relief washing over the weary defenders. Bjorn, chest heaving, acknowledges Kaelin's unwavering support. The victory, hard-won, feels bittersweet. He sees the faces of his fallen comrades, a solemn reminder of the cost. The city breathes again, a fragile peace settling over the ravaged streets. Hope flickers, a promise of rebuilding and renewal, born from the ashes of conflict. The weight of leadership settles upon Bjorn's shoulders, a responsibility he now embraces. Kaelin's words resonate, a beacon of hope in the lingering darkness. He speaks of shared struggles and the strength found in unity. Bjorn stands beside him, a silent testament to the city's defense. The citizens murmur their agreement, a collective resolve forming in their hearts. Plans for rebuilding begin to take shape, fueled by a shared desire for a brighter future. The spirit of resilience, forged in the fires of battle, will guide them forward. A new chapter begins, one of healing and prosperity. The air is heavy with sorrow, a collective mourning for those lost. Flowers cascade upon the freshly turned earth, a symbol of remembrance and respect. Bjorn and Kaelin stand as pillars of strength, offering solace to the grieving. Each citizen shares a moment of quiet reflection, honoring the courage of the fallen. The ceremony ends with a silent promise to never forget their sacrifice, to build a city worthy of their memory. A sense of peace descends, a quiet acknowledgement of loss and enduring hope. The city lights twinkle below, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Bjorn gazes out, contemplating the weight of his responsibilities. He understands that leadership isn't about glory but about safeguarding those under his care. The scars of battle are not just on the city walls but etched into his soul. He vows to dedicate himself to rebuilding, to fostering peace, and to ensuring the safety and prosperity of his people. A quiet determination settles within him, a promise whispered to the wind. Years have passed, and the city thrives, a testament to courage and unity. Bjorn and Kaelin stand side by side, their bond strengthened by shared trials. The city bustles with life, a vibrant tapestry of hope and prosperity. They watch the sunset, a silent acknowledgement of the journey they've shared. The city is safe, its future secure. A legacy of resilience, leadership, and unwavering friendship endures. The era of darkness is over, a new dawn has arrived.